problem solving a little bit today. As we're talking about cognition, this is definitely something to consider. So first thing that we want to think about is how do you measure creativity? There are standardized ways, which we'll talk about, that we measure intelligence. Some of them have pros and cons, but how do you measure creativity? So what we know is there's no standardized way to really measure creativity, but there are these 5 subsections that make up what's called a creativity quotient that we can kind of look at and analyze to be able to quantify creativity. First one is expertise. Expertise is, are you an expert in something? So what is it that you know really, really well, have mastered, be able to create, deal with, understand? Okay? What are you an expert in? Next is imagination. How vividly does our imagination work? What can we dream up, conjure up, in what realms do we do that, and so on. Next, we have a venturesome personality. Are you someone who's a little bit of a risk taker, who likes to go on adventures, who like to go and try new things, to travel, to meet new people, to do all those exciting things, or not? Intrinsic motivation. And we'll get to motivation after our holiday break, but intrinsic motivation is simply, are you self-motivated? Are you motivated from the inside to go and do stuff, to learn things, to try things, to do things? And then do you live in and or seek out creative environments? Okay. A place where you can build, experiment, question, etc. So you can take a look at these 5 subsets and say, well, maybe you're not very venturesome, but you are, quite imaginative and have great expertise in certain realms and blah, blah, blah. Okay. So it kind of gets us on the right track. We can also talk about the way that we think. Are we convergent or divergent thinkers? Okay. For convergent thinkers, we're talking about, are we someone who's going to sit and ponder and find one best answer to solve a problem? Okay. Or are we divergent thinkers? Somebody who's going to expand the problem and create multiple solutions to be able to take care of it. Okay. You can see all the diagrams down here, okay, very colorfully and artfully put together. But divergent thinking is going to be creating many choices, many ways for people to be able to handle a problem. So let's take a look at, a major world issue like global warming. A divergent thinker is going to come up with a lot of different ways to be able to reduce the carbon in the environment, recycle plastics, rethink the way that we're using transportation. A convergent thinker is going to say, if we do this, what is the answer to this? Taking all of these different avenues in which our environment needs assistance, this is the best way to do it. Okay. So that's really the difference. Okay. We also have this idea of functional fixedness. Apparently the video is no longer available, so I'll go and find and update that. But functional fixedness is a cognitive bias that limits a person's ability to use various objects for tasks outside of what they were intended. Okay, so when we're thinking about that, you take a look at a screwdriver, right? Its main purpose is to tighten or loosen screws. However, you can use it for many other things, right? You can use it to open a paint can as a lever. You can use it as a chisel if you hammer it into something. Okay? All those other types of things. So are you able to look at objects and use them outside of their created means? And there's a cool MacGyver clip that I'll go and repost on this, so when you open the actual slides, you'll be able to get to it. Okay. Oh, it kind of looks like it popped up right there. Oh, just saying there's an age restriction, so it should still work. And then what we'll be doing, and we'll end up having to do this in class, and I'll probably have you try to shoot, or at home, I'll probably have you shoot a message to me, is to do the marshmallow problem. Okay. And if you don't have these materials, that's fine. I can send you other options on a creative thinking problem solving issue. But try to build a tower, right? I'll try to do that this week with my kids, as tall as possible, using just 20 pieces of spaghetti, what is an arm's length of tape, okay, yarn, and a marshmallow, okay? So you know the rules. You can't tape or anchor to the floor, wall, or anything else. Other than that, you want to try to build it as tall as you can. Okay, so good luck.